Still Mills, what's the deal, man? Finally got that scruff off my face. Fuck. Damn, shout out my big sis, man, lining me up. Love you, Ja. But peep game, man. We gonna have us a conversation about the other side of the street. That being the PBC. We gonna have to talk about these niggas, man, cause this shit is just they have talented fighters over there. There's really talented fighters over there on that side of the street, man. J-Rock, one of my favorites. Keith Thurman, one of my favorites. Sean Porter, a dude who I pull for. The Charlo twins. Tank, all them cats. Tony Harrison, Jared Hurd, Caleb Plant, Jose Benavidez, the Durrells, Deontay Wilder, Ortiz. They have a lengthy talent pool, a lengthy talent pool over there. And these cats are good, but the thing is, you dig, it's the PBC is, it's the black fighters that carry the weight of that particular promotional banner. So if you go against the grain and you call out how Deontay Wilder was but very much so baby throughout the duration of his career, you a coon. You're a coon. And they're so strong, and they have, it's so many legs to them that they have people that they deal with on the end, like the LDBC. You dig? Them cats are clearly, it's clear as day. All right, yeah, they fuck with them. They fuck with them. And it's a lot of people who feel, they have a street team where they ain't got to come down and deal with the common folks. They got a street team who they can reach out to. So, So their street team, they're powerful enough to where they can set a narrative, and people become so enchanted with a particular fighter that they're pushing. The narrative just gets it spreads like wildfire. Like, even though Anthony Joshua is one, as far as in boxing in general, man, he's one of the cats who he's one of the faces of the sport. And he's gotten that through his his resume, man. He's put in the most work. He's a he's a 3 belt holder in that division. But propaganda is a motherfucker, man. I mean, shit. You look at how the fucking European Jews were did in not Russia, but Germany. All that shit, it became, them being dehumanized became so prevalent in the press and the tabloids and the papers and everything, that when it was actually time to put on an extermination campaign to their detriment, it became an easier pill to swallow. Now, this shit is nothing like the Holocaust, of course, but it just makes my point of how propaganda can really set niggas up for failure. So when you look at the PBC fight, when you look at the Deontay Wilder and how propaganda put him in a position of where he looks as if he's the more accomplished fighter between the two of them, and Joshua is ducking him. This is what propaganda does. It's a lot of propaganda and goofy shit that goes on with that conglomerate over there, man. It's only really 2 cats over there on that side of the street who at this moment are looking to be solidified throughout the book, in the books, throughout the annals of time, and that's Spence and Jermell Charlo. Those are the only 2. Even Keith Thurman isn't trying to be that right now, and I think he still has a lot left in the tank, if you ask me. You look at fucking Sean Porter. Sean Porter isn't necessary. Sean Porter is content with, all right, cool, let me and Keith Thurman can run it back now. It's like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, I think after the Terrence Crawford fight, he kind of just was like, you know what, fuck it. He was happy with his status. If he's never a champion again, he's cool with being a cat who's a name on a resume, even though he has all the ability to be a champion again. I'll just go throughout, I'll just I'll just float and float and float and within suspended animation until hopefully I land another shot. Or Spence, you know, whoever goes undisputed between Spence and Bud, if it does come to undisputed, one of them will move up, or the winner will move up, and all the belts will become vacated. So all right, cool. Yeah, you know, I ain't got about another year or two to hold out until I get my hands on another title. I think he's kind of becoming comfortable with that. He's finding comfort in that. So that's, you know, just Spence and Jermell are the only ones who seem to be looking to go for legacy defining fights at this point in time. So you come back to Deontay Wilder, and it's just everything that just went. He just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about like he would, you know, whatever happened to one face, one name, one belt. Godfather's pizza, y'all. My Nebraskans know about that. But it was cap. One face, one name, one belt. But you were so complicit with just having a WBC belt. You was complicit with that. And nobody ever asked why you're not fighting mandatories. Because everybody was drunk in love with your power, your ability to get somebody the fuck up out of there in a timely manner. Oh, fuck Anthony Joshua, he gonna knock Anthony Joshua. And what was wild is I've heard people make arguments saying that he would knock Anthony Joshua out on the mistakes that Anthony Joshua makes in the ring. And I'm like as if his fucking style isn't predicated on his ability to fix his mistakes being Deontay Wilder. They have perfected his right hand because he up until now, he had no intent on moving his head. He had no intent on developing a jab. He had no intent on being able to fight off of the back foot. He had no intent on having an inside game. He had no intent on, doing any of that. Adding tools to your toolbox to heighten your IQ, to take somebody's abilities away from them in the ring. He had no intent on doing that. But propaganda is a motherfucker, and because of that, it put him in a position with the American fan base like he's that nigga and Joshua isn't. That goes to show the power of the PBC. You get to Jamal Charlo. How many fucking mandatories has this man fought? There's no reason why your best win should be Sergey Derevianchenko. But everybody is so fixated. Oh man, he was ducking because he was a Canelo mandatory. You can make that argument, but I mean, it's still an argument out there that they offered Jamal Charlo a fight. That's out of Oscar's mouth. Now, nobody wants to believe that about Oscar, but now everybody wants to believe the fact that he said Canelo ducked Charlo. Like we can't have it both ways, man. We can't have it both ways. Which one is it? But people are so fixated that he is entitled to a match with Canelo. He's so entitled to a match with Canelo that they won't say shit about Demetrius Andre going to this man's press conferences. They won't say shit about Eddie Hearn saying, yo, he can cross your side. Y'all can do that on Fox. You can do it on Showtime. Who cares? Let's get this going. He doesn't. Nobody is saying, and he is, look how hard they are being on Canelo for saying you ain't fought nobody. They're not doing that shit with Charlo. Charlo's getting a pat on the ass. You dig what I'm saying? Because they just feel he is entitled to that fight with Canelo Alvarez. So his mandatories don't matter. I'll call you back, my dear. I'm making a video. But none of that shit matters. None of it. None of that shit matters with these cats. And that shit is just like wow, you can do no wrong. If you're a black man and you sign to any other promotional banner, you're a coon. Signing Eddie Hearn, oh man, him is, slave man, your slave master. How the fuck can you call $12 million slave wages and you never made $1 million in a fight up at that time, until that particular point in time? Or even 100 M's, 120 M's, bro. Like, how you do that? You ain't seen 120 million in your career. You just gonna make that in 3 fights. Man. The PBC is a motherfucker. And so now you get to Tank Davis, where him and Barrios isn't a bad fight. It's not a bad fight at all. Under different auspices, all right, cool. But they keep billing this fight as a championship bout, and it's not that. It's just we're what, a month removed from an undisputed title match between Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. How the fuck is this a championship match when Josh Taylor has all the belts in the division? How is this a championship bout? What are you talking about? Like, this is shit I'm talking about with these PBC niggas. Like, and nobody else can get away with doing this goofy shit. Nobody can get away with it. Nobody can get away with that shit, man. It's all the PBC. Fuck out of here, man. Barrios is a good fight. I mean, and the thing is, this is another thing that they did, man. Even with, Canelo got a lot of flack for going up and fighting Rocky Fielding. But look, he has 3 of the belts in the division now. Tank has no intentions on sticking up at 140 pounds. No intention whatsoever. And he doesn't belong up there. So what does he do? All right, cool. He has a regular belt. And it's deficiencies in his game that can be capitalized on. So let me go up there and get that from him and add that to my... I'll be a what? What is it? A 2 or 3 division world champion? You get that attached to your resume. This Godfather's pieces, I swear to God, man, shit's way low. But you get that attached to your resume. And it looks better than fighting, because you jumped up 2 divisions to fight a champion at 140 pounds. That's more credible than a 50-50 fight with you and Tevin Farmer, or Jojo Diaz, or Shakur Stevenson, or Oscar Valdez, or Jamel Herring, or Chris Colbert, or Gary Russell Jr. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, and nobody is calling this shit out on that. Or if you do, you a coon. If you're a black man, you're a coon. If you're a Latino, you're a racist. If you're a white person, you're a racist. And that's where, I'm just like, you niggas is dumb. You niggas is dumb as fuck. You niggas is some bozos, bro. So, the PBC has really talented fighters. They do. But they are goofy in how they move. They are goofy. They are really goofy. And Al Heyman takes care of them cats. That's why they go over there. He looks out for them. He looks out for them. And they're not gonna have to fight the hard fights consecutively. They're not. They don't have to fight the hard fights consecutively. Oh damn. I can go there and fight meager competition until you built up enough buzz to get a big fight. And that shit is whack. How they baby and coddled Wilder was just like, yo. How they baby and coddled fucking Jamal Charlo. It's like, yo. Y'all babying him. Y'all are babying him. And y'all not pushing the issue with him fighting a Demetrius Andre. Y'all can give a fuck less about that. Even though this is his legacy right here. It's about time that it's getting to a point where if he doesn't get on the ball anytime soon, it's gonna be a waste of a career. because he's just hell-bent on getting that Canelo Alvarez fight. Now, Canelo said, yeah, all right, yeah, you next, my friend, but still, what are we doing until then? I already made a video how I feel about that. So my thing is, man, they got a lot of goofy shit that they need to get straightened over there, man. Because it's just to a point where it's like, oh my fucking God. All these promotional banters do goofy shit. All of them. All of them. They all do it. But the one that by and large gets the pass is the PBC side. Now, you know, granted, because it's predominantly a black promotional banner, they take certain it's a certain energy that, you know, that's surrounded around black people, to where if you call certain shit out that we do, you could be chastised for it. And granted, you got it right. You dig what I'm saying? You have you know, don't talk to me. No, I'm not a Black Lives Matter supporter, but the All Lives Matter thing, I think all lives matter. You're gonna get roasted for that. You're gonna get roasted for that. You dig? Oh, well, slavery is ended. I didn't own any slaves. You're gonna get roasted for that. You have to walk on eggshells around us from a social standpoint. But because it's like that from a social paradigm, it bleeds over into spaces that we dominate in and that we're plentiful in, like boxing. So you can't call out the PBC side of the street without being chastised for it. Despite the fact them niggas do goofy shit, you can't call them out without facing some sort of what's the word? Facing some sort of resistance. You're not gonna be able to do that. And on one hand, I love it, because it's like, yo, we've earned that right as a people as a nation within a nation of people. We've earned that right. We've earned that right for you to force you to walk on eggshells around us, and be very much so careful about the things that come out of your mouth. We've earned that right. Most definitely. We've earned that. However, it's still a responsibility that comes with it. But we also has to be a people that moves within a certain truth. And a lot of these niggas don't move within truth. They have no problem with disregarding the bullshit of they have no problem with disregarding the bullshit that goes on there on that side of the street, because it's your people doing the bullshit. But when other people are doing the bullshit, you call them out on their bullshit. It's understandable. It most definitely is. But it's also aggravating. It's very much so aggravating. And I think a lot of, it has to get checked. Because in the process of y'all doing that, it's setting a precedence. Like, all you have to do is just be black. You don't have to put in any sort of work. Especially if you got a chip. If you got a belt, you got it made. You're a champion. So we'll hype your resume. We'll hype the opposition that you fight. We'll hype your skill set. We'll hype all that shit. If you're on the PBC side of the street. That's not good, man. That's not good for our people. That's not good for our people. It's not. That's not. Don't be critical of Devin Haney, but not critical of Tank Davis. When Devin Haney got tagged by Jorge Linares, it was, oh man, he better stay away from Teofimo Lopez. He better stay away from yada 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 yada. But when Tank was getting his head flown by Leo Santa Cruz, I did not hear that. I didn't hear them. I didn't hear that sentiment from him. Fuck all these niggas. So that's how I'm feeling about it, though, man. That's how I'm feeling about it, though. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know if I'm burnt out or if I'm on to something, man. Peace.